Ambassador Taewon paced nervously outside the Grand Coalition Council chamber. His four-fingered hands trembled as he reviewed his notes one final time. After 8 cycles studying humans on Earth, he knew what had to be done. He had to convince the council that recruiting humans for their war would be a terrible mistake. The massive doors slid open silently. Taewon entered the circular chamber where representatives from 17 spacefaring civilizations sat in tiered seating. Some floated in special atmosphere chambers, others sat on cushions, and a few stood on specialized platforms. Despite their different forms, all eyes focused on him. Ambassador Taewon, you requested this emergency session, announced Krill, the coalition leader. The massive reptilian being's scales shimmered under the bright lights. Speak now. Our time is limited. Taewon stepped to the center of the room. Honored Council, I come with urgent concerns about the proposed Earth recruitment initiative. The Dravik Empire advances further into coalition space each day, interrupted Lamu, the insectoid representative. We need more allies. The humans have numbers we desperately need. It is not their numbers that concern me, Taewon replied. It is their nature. He activated his datapad, and holographic images appeared above them, scenes from human history. Ancient battlefields strewn with bodies. Modern warfare with explosions and destruction. Urban conflicts with primitive projectile weapons. Humans appear physically unimpressive, Taewon explained. No natural armor. Limited strength compared to Dravik soldiers. No biological weapons. But appearances deceive. The council members shifted uncomfortably as more images appeared. All intelligent species have conflict in their past, Taewon continued. But humans are different. Most species fight for resources, territory, or survival. Humans fight for ideas. For revenge. Sometimes, they fight simply to test themselves. They have created thousands of ways to kill each other. Surely you exaggerate, said Mela, the gas-based representative. I do not, Taewon insisted. In their history, humans fought wars that killed millions of their own kind. They developed weapons that could destroy their entire planet. Even now, when they have achieved relative peace, they train constantly for war. Krill leaned forward. Yet reports indicate they are technologically primitive. They have barely achieved travel within their own solar system. That is true, Taewon nodded. And yet, their rate of technological advancement is unlike anything we have seen. What took our civilizations thousands of years, they accomplished in mere centuries. Taewon displayed a timeline of human technological development. Several council members murmured in surprise. Most concerning is their adaptability, Taewon continued. Humans can survive in almost any environment. They endure pain that would incapacitate most species. They function with minimal sleep, food, or water when necessary. And they never, ever surrender. The room grew quiet as the council processed his words. What exactly are you suggesting, Ambassador? Asked Krill. I am not suggesting. I am warning, Taewon's voice grew firmer. If you bring humans into this war, they will change it. They will adapt our technology to make it more deadly. They will develop tactics no other species would consider. They will win your war, yes, but at what cost? We have reviewed your report, Krill replied after a moment. But the situation grows dire. The Dravik Empire has conquered 3 more systems in the past cycle. We need allies with combat experience. Then find another ally. Taewon rarely raised his voice, but desperation overcame his usual restraint. You do not understand what you're about to unleash. The council members exchanged glances. Taewon could see he was losing them. The humans appear eager to join the galactic community, said Lamu. They will receive advanced technology in exchange for military support. This arrangement benefits all. Until they turn that technology against you, Taewon said quietly. Krill rose to his full height. Your concerns are noted, Ambassador. However, the coalition faces extinction without immediate reinforcement. The delegation to Earth leaves tomorrow. Taewon's shoulders slumped. He had failed. As the council members filed out, Krill approached him. Your dedication to peace is admirable, Ambassador. But sometimes peace must be defended through strength. Not their strength, Taewon whispered. You have made a grave mistake. Later, alone in his quarters, Taewon watched Earth's blue-green sphere through his viewport. Soon, coalition ships would arrive there, offering technological wonders in exchange for human soldiers. The council thought they were recruiting an ally. They did not understand they were unleashing a force they could never fully control. They asked for soldiers, Taewon murmured to himself. They will get warriors instead. The coalition ship emerged from faster-than-light travel, appearing suddenly in Earth's orbit like a new star. Its sleek design resembled no human spacecraft, smooth curves and shimmering metal that seemed to change color depending on how sunlight hit it. Inside the United Earth Defense Council headquarters in Seoul, Colonel Jisoo studied the alien vessel through high-powered telescopes. Her dark eyes narrowed as she analyzed its capabilities. Any weapons systems detected? She asked the technician beside her. Nothing obvious, Colonel, he replied. But their technology is so advanced, we might not recognize weapons even if we saw them. Jisoo nodded. After 3 days of radio contact, the aliens, calling themselves the Galactic Coalition, had requested a face-to-face meeting. Their message was simple: they needed help fighting a war against something called the Dravik Empire. Prepare the reception area, Jisoo ordered. And double the security detail. 2 hours later, Jisoo stood at attention as the alien shuttle landed in the specially prepared courtyard. World leaders and military officials from every major nation waited nervously. This was humanity's first contact with extraterrestrial life, and they had come asking for soldiers. The shuttle door opened with a soft hiss. 3 beings emerged, each strikingly different from the others. The first walked on 6 insect-like legs, its body covered in iridescent plates. The second floated rather than walked, a semi-transparent blue creature that pulsed with internal light. The third appeared almost humanoid, except for its 4 arms and completely hairless green skin. The green being stepped forward. I am Mora, diplomatic representative of the Galactic Coalition. Its voice came through a small device at its throat, translating its speech into perfect Korean. We bring greetings from 17 spacefaring civilizations. Jisoo bowed slightly. I am Colonel Jisoo, representing Earth's defense forces. Welcome to our world. The meeting lasted 6 hours. The aliens explained their situation. The Dravik Empire had been expanding aggressively, conquering peaceful worlds and enslaving populations. The coalition needed allies with combat experience. We offered technological exchange, Morai explained, displaying holographic images of spacecraft, medical devices, and energy systems far beyond Earth's capabilities. Knowledge that would advance your civilization by centuries. In exchange for soldiers, Jisoo stated flatly. Yes, Mora confirmed. Our intelligence suggests humans have unique tactical abilities. We request 1 battalion as a trial force. After 3 days of tense negotiations, Earth's leaders agreed. 500 soldiers would join the coalition forces, with Jisoo as their commander. If the arrangement proved beneficial, more would follow. 1 week later, Jisoo supervised as her soldiers boarded the coalition transport ship. She had selected her best veterans from special forces units around the world, all with combat experience and adaptable mindsets. As the human soldiers loaded their gear, Jisoo noticed how the alien crew watched them with what seemed like unease. One coalition officer, a tall 4-eyed being named Vril, approached her. Your soldiers bring primitive projectile weapons, Vril observed, pointing to the assault rifles and sidearms the humans carried. Jisoo nodded. We prefer to have backup options, we understand. Our energy weapons are far superior, Vril insisted. More precise. More humane. Jisoo's expression remained neutral. We'll adapt to your weapons, but we keep ours as well. That was part of our agreement. Vril's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. As you wish. But they will not be necessary. As they walked through the ship, Jisoo noticed Vril keeping unusual distance from her. In fact, all the alien crew seemed to maintain a careful space around the humans. Captain Hyun, Jisu's second-in-command, fell into step beside her. "Have you noticed how they look at us?" he whispered. "Like we might explode." "Yes," Jisoo replied quietly. "They need us, but they fear us too. I wonder what they know that we don't." Later, in her assigned quarters, Jisoo reviewed the limited information they had been given about the Dravik Empire. The files described powerful beings with natural armor and superior strength compared to humans. By all logical measures, humans should be at a severe disadvantage in direct combat. So why recruit us? She murmured to herself. What do they think we can do that they can't? As the ship prepared to leave Earth's orbit, Jisoo stood at a viewport watching her home planet grow smaller. The coalition had invited humans to join their war, seemingly desperate for help. Yet something in their behavior suggested they weren't entirely comfortable with what they had done. Captain Hyun joined her at the window. "It feels strange," he said. "Like they've invited wolves into their home without fully understanding what wolves are capable of." Jisoo nodded slowly. "Perhaps that's exactly what they've done." The artificial gravity on Nexus 7 felt slightly stronger than Earth's, but Jisoo's soldiers had adapted within days. 3 weeks into their deployment, the human battalion had surprised their coalition allies in numerous ways. Jisoo stood beside Commander Dren on an observation platform, watching her soldiers train with coalition energy weapons. Below them, humans moved through combat simulations with remarkable speed, adapting tactics from Earth warfare to their new equipment. Where other species took months to master the weapons, humans had achieved proficiency in mere days. "Your people learn differently," said Dren. The tall, four-armed commander's voice contained a note of unease. "We adapt quickly," Jisoo replied. "It's a human trait." "No," Dren corrected. "Other species adapt. Your people see technology and immediately think of how to use it in new ways, usually more lethal ways." Jisoo watched as one of her soldiers discovered that by adjusting the focus on a coalition energy rifle, he could create a wide-angle burst rather than a single beam. The innovation would be less accurate but more effective against multiple targets. "Yesterday, one of your sergeants asked if 2 energy pistols could be linked to create a more powerful single weapon," Dren continued. "It had never occurred to our weapons designers. We tested it. It worked." "Creativity under pressure," Jisoo explained. "On Earth, battles are often won by those who innovate fastest." Dren's skin changed color slightly, a sign of discomfort Jisoo had learned to recognize. "It is more than creativity. Your people embrace violence in ways that disturb some coalition species." Before Jisoo could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors. Dren's communication device activated with an urgent message: "Dravik attack. Outer defense perimeter breached." The station shook as something hit it. "How many ships?" Jisoo asked, already moving toward the command center. 3 warships, Dren replied, his forearms working multiple control panels as they ran. "They bypassed our early warning systems." In the command center, chaos reigned. Coalition officers from various species shouted reports and orders. Jisoo noticed immediately that they lacked coordination. Each species followed its own protocols. "Captain Hyun," Jisoo called to her second-in-command. "Gather our forces at junctions 4, 7, and 12. Secure those positions." "Standard defensive formation?" Hyun asked. "No. We go offensive. Use the maintenance shafts to flank them. Teams of 6, mixed weapons." Coalition officers stared at her. "Maintenance shafts are too narrow for combat," one protested. Jisoo ignored the comment. "Commander Dren, can your engineers cut power to sections B through F? Just for 2 minutes. "That would disable our own defenses in those sections," Dren objected. "It would also disable their vision systems temporarily." "My soldiers know how to fight in darkness." Reluctantly, Dren agreed. Within minutes, Jisoo's plan was in motion. Human soldiers moved through darkened corridors and narrow maintenance shafts, attacking Dravik boarding parties from unexpected angles. The Dravik were physically imposing, tall, heavily armored beings with remarkable strength. But they fought according to patterns, while humans constantly changed tactics. When energy weapons proved less effective against Dravik armor, Jisu's soldiers switched to their primitive projectile guns. The ancient technology actually penetrated Dravik armor better than advanced energy weapons. In engineering, 2 human soldiers found themselves cornered by Dravik warriors. Running low on ammunition, they improvised explosives using fuel cells and coolant materials. The resulting blast killed 3 Dravik and damaged the ship's docking mechanism, preventing more enemies from boarding. 4 hours later, the attack was repelled. 23 humans had suffered injuries, some severe, but the station was secure. Over 300 coalition personnel had been saved. Jisu found Dren in the medical bay, where injured from both sides received treatment. She noticed human soldiers with serious injuries refusing pain medication so they could remain alert. "Your people." Dren began, then seemed unsure how to continue. "What about them?" Jisu asked. "I saw one of your soldiers continue fighting with a severe arm injury, which you call a broken bone. Our medical staff says the pain would incapacitate most species." "Humans can compartmentalize pain when necessary," Jisu explained. "It's a survival trait." Nearby, 2 coalition officers spoke quietly, not realizing Jisu could hear them. "Did you see them fighting?" One was laughing during combat. "How do they do that? Continue despite injuries that would stop any reasonable being?" "I heard they evolved on a planet where they were never the top predator." "Perhaps that explains it." Jisu pretended not to hear. Later, in her quarters, she reviewed the battle footage. Her soldiers had performed admirably, but she noted the growing unease among their allies. The coalition had wanted human help, but they hadn't fully understood what that meant. Captain Hyun entered with a status report. "All wounded are stable. The coalition engineers are impressed with our improvised explosives. They want specifications." Jisu nodded. "Provide what they ask for, but be diplomatic. I think our allies are beginning to wonder if they've made a mistake bringing us into this war." "A mistake?" Hyun looked confused. "We just saved this station." "Yes," Jisu replied quietly. "And now they're seeing what humans are truly capable of. That knowledge comes with fear." 3 months had passed since the battle at Nexus 7. The human contingent had grown from 500 to 2,000 as Earth sent reinforcements. Their reputation had spread throughout coalition space and among Dravik forces as well. Jisu stood before the Coalition War Council aboard the command ship Stellar Guardian. Holographic maps showed the current battle lines across 17 star systems. The situation had improved dramatically since human forces joined the conflict. "The Dravik have changed their tactics," Jisu explained, pointing to recent enemy movements. "They now target human soldiers first in any engagement. They consider us the primary threat." "Because you are," said General Krill, the Reptilian Coalition commander. "Your forces have won battles we thought unwinnable." Jisu nodded and continued. "I propose a new strategy. The Dravik rely heavily on their command structure. Their warriors follow orders absolutely. We can use this against them." She activated a detailed hologram showing a Dravik command station orbiting a gas giant. "My team has identified their central communications hub. I propose a small infiltration team captures this facility. From there, we can feed false information to Dravik forces, turning them against each other." The council chamber fell silent. Several coalition commanders exchanged uncomfortable glances. "You propose deception?" asked Lamtar, a crystalline being who commanded the coalition's 3rd Fleet. "Using an enemy's communications to spread lies?" "I propose winning this war with minimal casualties," Jisu replied calmly. "The Dravik outnumber us. They have better ships and stronger soldiers. We must use their weaknesses against them." "Deception in battle is dishonorable," Lamtar protested. Other commanders nodded in agreement. Jisu's expression hardened. "With respect, this is war. the honorable often end up dead. Before the debate could continue, the council chamber doors slid open. Ambassador Taewon entered, looking tired and concerned. Jisoo had not seen the ambassador since her battalion first joined the coalition forces. Ambassador, General Krill acknowledged with surprise. You are not part of military planning. I requested access to this meeting, Taewon replied. Because I must once again voice my concerns. He looked directly at Jisoo. The humans have changed this war. For the better, Krill insisted. They have won critical victories. Yes, Taewon agreed. But at what cost to our principles? Look at what they now propose: infiltration, deception, psychological warfare. These concepts were unknown in coalition military doctrine before humans arrived. Jisoo stepped forward. We use these tactics because they work. They save lives on our side. I warned the council, Taewon continued as if Jisoo hadn't spoken. Humans don't just fight wars, they transform them. They don't just use technology, they weaponize it in ways its creators never imagined. He turned to Krill. And now the coalition adopts human methods without considering the consequences. What consequences? Demanded Krill. Victory? Cultural contamination, Taewon replied. Humans are conquerors by nature. Their entire history shows this pattern. They enter a conflict, change its nature, and emerge dominant. Jisoo felt anger rising but kept her voice steady. We're fighting to protect our new allies. Nothing more. Taewon met her gaze. Perhaps you are. But I've studied your kind. Today's allies often become tomorrow's competitors. And you've now given humans access to coalition technology, tactics, and knowledge of our weaknesses. The council erupted in argument. Some commanders defended the humans, while others voiced growing concerns. Jisoo noticed how the debate divided mostly along species lines. Those with more similar biology to humans seemed more comfortable with their presence. Finally, General Krill raised all four of his clawed hands for silence. The Dravik advance on Helios Prime, our most critical installation. If it falls, the coalition will collapse. We need decisive action. He faced Jisoo. Your plan is approved, Colonel. Select your team and proceed. As the council disbanded, Taewon approached Jisoo privately. They fear you now, he said quietly. Jisoo nodded. Fear can be useful in war. And afterward? Taewon asked. When the fighting stops, what then? The coalition species now know what humans are capable of. They've seen your soldiers fight through injuries that would kill their own kind. They've watched you develop weapons from their technology that they never conceived. They know you've studied their weaknesses as closely as the enemy's. You think they'll turn against us? Jisoo asked. I think they'll never fully trust you, Taewon replied. And fear without trust leads to preventive action. Jisoo considered his words. We didn't ask to join this war. The coalition came to us. Yes, Taewon agreed. And now they must live with that decision, as must you. Later, as Jisoo briefed her infiltration team, Captain Hyun noticed her distraction. Something troubling you, Colonel? Jisoo looked at the eager faces of her soldiers, each now expert with alien technology they hadn't known existed 4 months ago. The ambassador believes we've changed the coalition as much as we've changed the war. Of course we have, Hyun replied. That's what humans do. We adapt, we overcome, we transform. And after the war? Jisoo asked. Hyun checked his weapons, both coalition energy pistols and a human-made combat knife. After we win this war, Earth will never be the same either. We've seen what's out there now. We won't go back to being alone in the universe. Jisoo nodded slowly. The coalition had unleashed a force they couldn't fully control. Humanity itself of the coalition's central command station, Helios Prime, trembled as Dravik weapons struck its outer shields. From the command center, Jisoo watched battle displays showing 300 coalition ships fighting against a Dravik armada twice their size. This was the decisive battle that would determine the war's outcome. "Shields at 60%, reported a coalition officer, fear evident in his voice. "Dravik forces are concentrating fire on our eastern quadrant." Jisoo studied the tactical displays. Her 2,000 human soldiers were spread across the coalition fleet. Over the past months, they had trained coalition forces in human combat tactics. Some alien species had embraced these methods more readily than others. "Implement Operation Thunderclap," Jisoo ordered, her voice calm despite the chaos around her. Captain Hyun nodded and spoke into his communication device. "All human units, commence Thunderclap. Authorization code, Earth Prime." Throughout the battlefield, human soldiers began executing the carefully planned operation. Unlike conventional coalition tactics that focused on power and direct confrontation, Operation Thunderclap employed deception, psychological warfare, and targeted strikes against command structures. On the Dravik flagship, a small team of human infiltrators who had been in place for days activated jammers that disrupted communications between Dravik commanders. Simultaneously, other human teams broadcast false orders on Dravik frequencies, creating confusion about which ships should retreat and which should advance. In the command center, General Krill watched with a mixture of awe and unease as the battle's momentum shifted. "Your people fight unlike any species I have encountered," he remarked to Jisoo. "We fight to win," she replied simply. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the command center. "Dravik boarding parties detected in sectors 7 through 12, shouted a communications officer. Jisoo had anticipated this. "That's their desperation move," she told Krill. "They're sending their elite warriors to capture Helios Prime directly." "Our internal defenses," Krill began. "Won't stop them," Jisoo interrupted. "But we're ready." She activated her comm unit. "Reserve teams Alpha through Delta, execute interior defense plan now." Throughout Helios Prime, hidden human soldiers emerged from concealed positions. They had been waiting for this moment, positioned in locations the Dravik would never expect: maintenance ducts, ceiling compartments, and even fake wall panels specially constructed for this purpose. The fighting inside Helios Prime was fierce and brutal. The Dravik warriors were physically superior, taller, stronger, and naturally armored. But the humans fought with unexpected tactics, using the station's environment against the enemy. They cut power to gravity generators in select sections, creating chaos for the Dravik who weren't trained for zero-gravity combat. They vented atmosphere from corridors full of enemy soldiers, then sealed the sections and moved in with breathing equipment. On the main battlefield, the Dravik formations were falling into disarray as conflicting orders spread confusion throughout their fleet. Human-led fighter squadrons targeted communications arrays on enemy ships, further isolating Dravik commanders from each other. Then came the moment that turned the tide completely. The Dravik flagship, a massive vessel 3 times the size of anything in the coalition fleet, suddenly erupted with internal explosions. The human infiltration team had reached the ship's power core and overloaded it. "Dravik flagship is crippled," announced a sensor officer, surprise evident in his voice. Without their command ship, the Dravik fleet's coordination collapsed entirely. Ships began retreating in different directions, some colliding with each other in their haste to escape. "They're running," Captain Hyun observed with satisfaction. "The battle is won," General Krill announced, his voice filled with relief and something else: unease. 3 days later, representatives from the Dravik Empire arrived to negotiate peace terms. Jisoo stood beside General Krill as the Dravik Supreme Commander, a massive, battle-scarred warrior named Gorth, entered the negotiation chamber. The peace terms were straightforward: the Dravik would withdraw from all conquered territories and respect coalition boundaries. But Gorth added one unexpected condition. Humans must be excluded from any future conflicts involving the Dravik Empire, he stated firmly. This is non-negotiable. After the negotiations concluded, Jisoo found Ambassador Taewon on an observation deck, staring at the stars. "You were right," she said simply. Taewon nodded. "The coalition won their war. But now they've seen what humans are capable of. The Dravik fear us enough to make our exclusion a peace condition," Jisoo noted. "Not just the Dravik, Taewon replied, gesturing subtly to coalition officers across the room who kept glancing nervously in their direction. Your people will return to Earth as heroes, but not as trusted friends. We only did what was necessary to win, Jisoo said. That's precisely what terrifies them, Taewon explained. What humans consider necessary crosses boundaries other species won't approach. Your adaptability, your capacity for violence, your ability to endure conditions that would break others, these traits evolved from thousands of years on a planet where you were never the strongest species. Jisoo watched a coalition ship prepare to take the first group of human soldiers back to Earth. What happens now? The coalition will honor their agreements, Taewon said. Technology exchange, diplomatic relations. But there will always be a distance now. The galaxy has seen what humans can do when they fight. They asked for our help, Jisoo said quietly. Yes, Taewon agreed with a sad smile. And now they'll forever wish they had heeded my warning. Please, don't let humans fight in this war.